So we're gonna do color grading with Premiere Pro. So you have this timeline, you have a couple of video clips ready, right? And what I'm going to do, for example, I'm gonna select the one of the video clips. Can I move this? Okay, let me move this down and go to Window and click Lumetri Color. And also go to Window, Lumetri Scopes. The computer monitor is really small, but you can probably see white and color. Somehow it doesn't really show me. Somehow it's really okay. Now it works. All right. So Lumetri Color. So you select one of the video clip again. You have Lumetri Color and you have the Lumetri Scopes. This is just what you see. This is you can actually control brightness, color, saturation, and what's called luma. Okay, let's do this. So you need to on the timeline, let's call it sequence. This is called sequence. Select a video clip you like to edit. So let's see, I'm gonna edit this part. Make sure your bar is here and you select so you see when you edit. Make sense? Okay. Couple of things. There are multiple options you can change. The first one, if you click first one, there's something called basic correction. First, what I like to do, this is a good step. You need to make the right brightness and contrast first. That's the first step. So if you look at here, black, white, shadow, highlight. Black means the darkest part here. White means the brighter part. Shadow usually medium, and highlight really means highlights. You can control contrast, exposure, overall brightness. So for example, if I bring down the black, you see how it changes. It's gonna stretch out all the red, green, and blue. And you actually see things, the darker area getting darker. Same thing, white, you can make brighter. So if you increase white and decrease black, meaning that you create higher contrast. Try to change the shadow. It's more like a medium area. How it changes. Like it changes mostly here. And also highlight. If you feel this is too bright, lower it down, contrast, and exposure. 0, 0, 0. Well, this is how you control, the highlights, brightness, and contrast. If you go up there, there are temperature and tint and saturation. If you increase saturation, you're gonna have a lot of vivid color. If you decrease saturation, it's gonna be black and white. So 100 is right in the middle. And also you can control temperature, smooth and warm, and tint. Also, so you usually with like iPhones and smartphones and digital camera has really good automatic white balance. But when it comes to using video camera, traditional DSLR, sometimes the white balance, meaning that there are some areas that's supposed to be white, not really bright, like if you have a white paper, that means that is white, but because of the lighting condition, they might look yellowish, they might look bluish. So you need to, correct if you want the white, the color. So select this eyedropper, and where could be a perfect white area? There is not much white area actually here. Maybe I want to select this highlight. Yeah. And then as you can see, you select the white area, it automatically adjusts the temperature and tint to make it white, if that makes sense. Any questions so far? No question? Also, you can try auto. You can try reset. 1 second. Zoom recording. And let's close page correction. You can click open, you can click again to close. You can click create it. It does the similar things, but slightly different. It has the same option, color, saturation, shadow, and tint. So instead of using the bar, you can actually, you see how these three move together and how it changes on here. Let's take a look. So you can create overall color range by changing these. Let's close this again. Curves is something I like the most. You actually control curves. This is so there's a line. You can control, you can add a point and you can drag down. So meaning that I'm gonna make the medium area, the middle, like the shadow area darker or brighter, a little bit darker. And then I'm gonna have another point, slightly, make slightly brighter towards the, what do you call, the darker areas. I'm gonna make slightly move these things up. And actually, I'm gonna do the opposite, like that. Move this down. So what I did, so by putting this away, you're creating higher contrast in the shadow area. On the other hand, I move this down first a little bit. So instead, you have a like bright white and black, dark black. I like have a bit of gray dark and bit of gray white. So which is what I like. The S curve is something I like the most because it creates higher contrast in the middle. At the same time, doesn't really create like white part too bright or black part too dark. So this is kind of what I like, the shape I like the most. Let's do this. We're gonna come back this curve again. Yeah, no, let's actually move this down. No, let's actually move this later. Also you can try with color we match. But before we're gonna use some of the other tools. I actually gonna go to window and you have effects, right? And you have effect control already. Under effects, and there's another video effect, or you can just type same thing, lumetri color. If you type this under video effect, color correction, lumetri color, there is another lumetri color under effects. And I'm gonna actually click and drag. So, and now you can see lumetri color options under effect control. Now I have questions. Hopefully some of you can answer the questions. Okay, there's two. So there is lumetri color under a panel, right? You can correct colors and contrast. But why do we need another lumetri color under effects and apply and use this control? Anyone can guess? There must be some reasons. What do you do usually when you add some effects to a specific video clip? Yeah.
So you can like keyframe.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Keyframe. So for example, I'm gonna open this basic correction. Let's bring this up here. Here. Basic correction. And let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna create a keyframe for saturation. Towards here, I'm gonna change the number to 0. So as you can see, it's really colorful, or I'm gonna increase almost like 200. I'm gonna delete. I'm gonna increase saturation 200. Now you have about 2 keyframe from here to there. And if you move this, it's gonna gradually lose color, and it's gonna be completely black and white. Yes, you can use keyframe for the same option, meaning that you can have it's what I call animation, but yeah, you can play with the changes using keyframe. Does it make sense? So if you're gonna just use lumetri color, you're gonna just change the color and contrast. If you're gonna use lumetri color on the effect and apply, actually you can create a keyframe. Wherever you see, you can control the keyframe. There are another reasons. I'm gonna delete this. Oops. Okay, so that's dark. Control Z. Okay, there are another reasons why we use this. This is something usually I use mask. I'm not sure whether you took my New Media Foundation, Photoshop, you have a mask. Mask means you select an area, you're gonna edit something, just the area. So that is called mask. So on the lumetri color, you can use the mask. For example, I'm gonna select this ellipse tool. I'm gonna select this circle, and let's increase the feather. Do you know what feather it means? So if you select the area, I hope some of you to my New Media Foundation. If you change something, so this is the area selected. If you change one of the things bottom, only this area will be affected. But if you don't have feather number, you'll see very sharp outline. If you have feather, meaning that it gradually changes from here and there. So it is important to add some, increase the feather number. For me, it's 300. And then you can try to change saturation. So you can probably see, I change saturation, it's gonna affect only this particular mask area. Good? Yes, no. One more thing. Sometimes, for example, usually you use particular area, but when it comes to video, it's not Photoshop, it's not an image. Video, things are moving around, right? So, for example, there's not much movement here, but if there's a person starting from here, but actually, the person walked down to here. And you wanna circle to follow the subject, right? If you hit this play button, it's gonna what's called tracking. So it understands what's going on in this area, and it's gonna track. For now, there's not much movement, but for example, if you have a person moving from here to there, and you're gonna click this button, it's gonna track. So the circle will follow. So that is important. Any questions so far? So you can see only the selected area. There's not much, things to follow, but only the selected area have higher contrast. So that's the mask. Actually, I'm not gonna use this one. I'm gonna delete this. Okay, let's take a look. Let's see. Any questions so far? Okay, so okay, 1 second, let's pause recording. Similar to mask, actually you can select specific color. Let's go back to the curves. Maybe create, yeah. Yeah, let's go back to curves. Let's close. Now you see a lot of different options here. You see a lot of different options. For me, what I'm going to do, for example, I'm gonna select the eyedropper and select specific color like blue. And so as you can, okay, this is not wrong selection. Control Z. Let's do saturation. So select carefully. I'm gonna actually, so this is too small for me, but select carefully. You can, okay, let's change like 200. Okay, that's better. I'm gonna select this blue, and you can change. There are not much changes. Let's maybe shoot. Select this area and try to change. Now you see, let's move this down. Only selected color area changes, if that makes sense. So unlike using mask, you can actually select the eyedropper and select specific color to choose, to change the color. There are similar options for this. The HSL secondary, which might be better. So for example, I'm gonna select this brownish red area. Select this. Now you can actually control, if you move this up and like change, you can actually select the area that you want to like here. So by changing this, you determine how much area you want to change. And then, so if you click this, so this shows the area that will be affected. And it's like then refine. I'm gonna increase denoise and blur. It's gonna function as something similar to the feather. It's not Photoshop. It's not blurring. It's just areas of these will affect. So if it's gonna be 0, it's gonna be too sharp. So I'm gonna increase denoise and blur. So it's gonna work like a feather. And then I'm gonna increase increase the red. And let's uncheck. So the red area getting a lot red, but that doesn't affect the blue area. Correct? Yes. Which is actually important steps using this eyedropper. Let's do this again. I'm gonna select again. I'm gonna this time select the blue area here. I'm gonna increase affected area a little bit. Yeah. Okay. And then I'm gonna make the blue, like more, more blue, and go back a bit. So what I did, and then I'm gonna, so I changed the blue, and instead I'm gonna add this plus sign, not the plus sign, yeah. What I did, I made blue more vivid and red more thick, like reddish color. This is very important steps, if you want to consider. And then, yeah, forgot, last thing. And using all of this, you change the color and contrast and brightness of specific video clip, right? But what if you wanna change entire sequence all at once instead of changing the video clips? There is something called, if you go to video projects, if you move this down, let's move this up. Do you see a little folded paper icon? Projects, click this. You can create what is called adjustment layer. I hope some of you understand what adjustment layer means if you took my new media foundations. Adjustment layer is the same thing you can find on Photoshop. So click OK. So it is empty layer. So click and drag. It's empty layer. Make this larger. Make it longer. So this is an empty layer. I can make it longer. So whatever you change something will affect things below. So sometimes a lot of people actually combine multiple adjustment layers because I'm gonna see here. So for example, I collect the bottom, the actual video clip, I change something, and if you want to add another additions using adjustment layer, especially like this one, I'm gonna select this area, and I'm gonna even make it, yeah, much brighter, like here. And also for the top adjustment layer, that's gonna affect every single layer below. Whatever you want, curves, do the same thing, like bring this down a little more, bring this up, try to make S shape, your preferred S shape, this way or another way. So using adjustment layer knows that whatever things below will be affected by this adjustment layer. So you can have multiple adjustment layer. You can create one adjustment layer that you can convert to one below or a combination of two. But that means you can change something. You can also add another color addition with with adjustment layer, and for the top adjustment layer, you can, change literally for every single video clips. Okay. Let's use this area. So by using these steps, there's really famous, I would say, color setting called orange teal, which means usually when filmmakers, when they film outside, they try to capture warm color and blue color together. That's one of the professional practice, but sometimes that's not always, you can always capture the right, light. So using Premiere Pro or any other post editing process, they try to combine cool color and warm color together. So today I want to actually explore, using these colors and corrections, try to combine warm and bluish color together, either using eyedropper or mask. Try to use that. Try to change the color. The purpose for this, try to change the color that looks cinematic. So cinematic means a lot. This is a very broadly defined term, but you know what I mean. It's not something you just film with your cell phone and look at, and that doesn't look often cinematic. But using these tools, you can make your video, especially the color and contrast, look cinematic. So try to achieve things that look cinematic today. All right. And I made. Stop sharing. I'm gonna stop recording.